Now, let us take up the concept number 9, 10.9. Calling system default constructor leads to an error. Actually, in one case, if you call system defined default constructor, it leads to error. Actually, if you do not know, sometimes you may commit this mistake. That's why I am explicitly drawing your attention towards this. Now you see, actually whenever you define user defined argument constructor, you should not call system defined default constructor. Once again I repeat, when you define your own constructor, that what we call user defined argument constructor, you should not call system defined default constructor. Calling system defined default constructor, I show you, this is calling system defined default constructor. That means you are not giving any argument. That is called, you are depending on system defined default constructor. So when you define your constructor, you should not call that. Now I commented it out. If I remove that, it leads to error. You can observe that. You write code and first comment it out and work out program. Thereafter you remove this, and what happens you see, because your experience is always yours. Whatever I explain and all that, until unless you practice and you convince that is not yours, that point you remember. So in this case what happened, this is room for length and breadth. I have defined user defined argument constructor, and I have used this also. This I explained to you, and now I passed 2015. Actually it works fine, already I explained to you. Here only one point you have to notice it. If you now one more object R4, this thing R5, what is your intention? R5 you want to initialize length and breadth, R5's length and breadth with the default values 0 0. If you do this, it leads to error. It leads to error. That point you have to observe. And one thing, because of this error, you are not deprived. In the next concept, I will explain to you how to overcome this. So if you know the technique, even though if you define system user defined argument constructor, then you can call system defined default constructor. It is very important. First, in programming, some error prone areas are there. Until unless you notice that, you experience that, you never remember that. That is very important. So first you have to notice that. Thereafter, suppose this is the requirement. For R4 you want to use these values, for R5 you want to use 0 0 with a reference to this. Then error comes, how you can do that? That's why first where the error prone code is there, error prone areas are there, you identify. Thereafter you have to find out to plug the loophole or to overcome that error.